Have you ever wondered why some people are able to bounce back from failure while others dwell on their mistakes? What if I told you the answer lies in one simple concept: self-compassion? It's about being kind to oneself, especially in instances of pain or failure. Now, this might sound like a no-brainer, but it's a practice that many of us often overlook. Let's dive deeper into what self-compassion really means. It's not just about patting yourself on the back or giving yourself a pass when things go wrong. It's about understanding, acknowledging, and accepting your experiences, both good and bad. It's about acknowledging that suffering, failure, and imperfections are part of the shared human experience. Self-compassion consists of three components: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. Self-kindness is about being warm and understanding towards ourselves when we suffer, fail, or feel inadequate, rather than ignoring our pain or flagellating ourselves with self-criticism. Common humanity involves recognizing that we are not alone in our struggle. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone fails, and everyone feels inadequate at times. It's part of being human. Finally, mindfulness is about holding our experience in balanced awareness, neither ignoring our pain nor exaggerating it. It allows us to see things as they are, without denial or exaggeration. So, how does self-compassion help us handle failures and setbacks more effectively? Well, when we approach our flaws and mistakes with kindness and understanding, we create a safe space for growth and learning. We stop being our own worst critic and start becoming our own best friend. And when we embrace our common humanity, we realize that we are not alone in our struggle. It provides us with a sense of belonging, a feeling that we are part of a larger community that shares our experiences. Lastly, mindfulness allows us to see our experiences clearly, without distortion or denial. It helps us to accept our flaws and failures, not as something to be ashamed of, but as opportunities for growth and transformation. Remember, self-compassion is not about ignoring your flaws, but acknowledging them and choosing to love yourself regardless. Have you ever considered how acceptance can dramatically change your perspective on life? Let's delve into the concept of acceptance. It's an essential part of personal growth, yet often misunderstood. Many of us mistake acceptance for resignation or complacency. However, it is not about giving in or giving up. Acceptance is about acknowledging reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a river. The water is flowing rapidly, and you're trying to swim upstream. The struggle is real, isn't it? But what if you choose instead to go with the flow, to accept the river's current and use it to guide your journey? That's acceptance. It's about learning to work with life's currents rather than constantly battling against them. Let's be clear, acceptance does not mean we should stop striving for improvement or change. It's not about passive resignation. Rather, it's about understanding and acknowledging the present moment, the here and now. It's about saying, this is where I am right now, and that's okay. Why is this important? Well, acceptance can lead to greater peace and less suffering. When we resist reality, we create tension and stress. We wrestle with what is, hoping for what could be. This wrestling match creates inner turmoil. But when we accept reality, we can let go of this struggle. We can find peace in the present moment, even if it's not perfect. We can work with what is instead of wishing for what isn't. Acceptance is like turning on a light in a dark room. It doesn't change what's in the room, but it allows us to see it clearly. And with this clarity, we can navigate the room more effectively. We can avoid stumbling over the furniture and find a path forward. Acceptance is not an end destination, but a continuous journey. It's a practice, a mindset, a way of life. It's about meeting ourselves where we are with kindness and understanding, and then moving forward from that place. In the journey of self-improvement, acceptance is the first step. How then can we cultivate this powerful tool of self-compassion? Firstly, we can start by embracing mindfulness meditation. This practice involves quieting the mind, focusing inward, and observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's about being present in the moment, not getting caught up in the past or future. Through this process, we can start to observe our self-critical thoughts, understand their temporary nature, and begin to let them go. Another practical step involves self-compassion exercises. These exercises can be as simple as repeating affirmations of self-love and acceptance. It might sound like, I am deserving of compassion and kindness, or it's okay to make mistakes. They're part of being human. These affirmations help to rewire our brain, allowing us to replace self-critical thoughts with more compassionate ones. Next, consider journaling about your personal experiences through a lens of kindness and understanding. This might involve writing about a challenging situation you faced and then reframing it with compassion. For example, instead of dwelling on what went wrong, focus on what you learned, how you grew, and how you can apply this wisdom in the future. But remember, cultivating self-compassion is not a one-and-done deal. It's an ongoing process that requires patience and consistency. It's about making a commitment to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd extend to a good friend. It's about recognizing that you too are human and that it's okay to have flaws and make mistakes. Perhaps some days will be more challenging than others. Some days, the self-critical thoughts may seem louder, more persistent, but that's okay. It's all part of the journey. Each day, each moment is a new opportunity to practice self-compassion. So start today, start now. Begin to cultivate that seed of self-compassion within you. Water it with mindfulness, nourish it with kindness, and watch it grow. Cultivating self-compassion is a journey, not a destination. Embracing acceptance might seem challenging, but how can we make it a part of our lives? It's a question worth pondering, and fortunately, there are some key strategies we can incorporate into our daily routines. Firstly, let's talk about practicing mindfulness. It's all about being present and tuned into the here and now, rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. By being mindful, we create a space for acceptance to grow. We start to see things as they are, without the colored lenses of judgment or bias. Challenging negative self-talk is another important step towards embracing acceptance. We can become our own worst critics, honing in on every little flaw or mistake. But by catching these negative self-statements and turning them around, we can begin to cultivate a more accepting attitude towards ourselves. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," we can say, "I'm a work in progress and that's okay." Embracing imperfections also plays a crucial role in acceptance. Perfection is an illusion, a standard no one can meet. We all have flaws and make mistakes. That's what makes us human. By acknowledging and accepting our imperfections, we reject the unrealistic ideals of perfection and make room for growth and self-improvement. However, it's essential to note that embracing acceptance is not an overnight process. It takes time, patience, and persistence. Some days, it might feel like you're taking a step back, but remember, progress is not always linear. It's okay to have days where acceptance feels harder to grasp. What matters is that you keep trying, keep practicing, and keep moving forward. In the grand scheme of things, acceptance is about understanding that we are all works in progress. It's about recognizing our strengths and weaknesses, our successes and failures, and knowing that all these elements make us who we are. Remember, acceptance is not a one-time act, but a lifelong practice. So let's start practicing today and every day after, as we journey towards a more accepting and compassionate self. What happens when we successfully cultivate self-compassion and acceptance in our lives? Picture a life where you are your best friend, your most compassionate listener, and your most supportive cheerleader. This is the power of self-compassion and acceptance. When we embrace these practices, we open the door to a wealth of benefits that improve our day-to-day experiences and overall life satisfaction. One of the key outcomes is increased resilience. Life will always have its ups and downs, but when we treat ourselves with compassion, we can navigate these rough waters with a sense of calm and understanding. Improved mental health is another significant benefit of self-compassion and acceptance. When we are gentle with ourselves, we reduce the impact of negative thoughts and emotions. We can quiet the inner critic that often exacerbates feelings of stress, anxiety, and depression. Let's not forget about the enhancement of personal relationships. When we show ourselves compassion and acceptance, we extend these practices to others. We become more understanding, patient, and kind, qualities that enrich our relationships with friends, family, and loved ones. And the cherry on top, a more fulfilling and satisfying life. By cultivating self-compassion and acceptance, we allow ourselves to fully experience life's joys and sorrows without judgment or harsh criticism. We can appreciate our strengths, accept our weaknesses, and love ourselves unconditionally. This leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment and satisfaction as we live authentically and wholeheartedly. Self-compassion and acceptance are not just concepts, they are powerful tools that can transform your life. So why not give it a try? Start today and welcome the positive changes that self-compassion and acceptance can bring to your life.